Well, thank you so much for offering us the opportunity to come and speak to you about the student project that we had last semester. My co-presenters are Michelle Kunkel and Jean Kinsella. They're both students, and you'll be seeing the work that they presented for me. Before we begin, I just want to kind of clarify, I'm going to be talking about LEED certification, and that's how we based our design around, and specifically LEED for homes. And LEED is a voluntary, sustainable criteria that homeowners, clients, such for buildings, any kind of building can use these as a way of trying to figure out how to be sustainable with recycling, not to fill landfill and so forth. So the emphasis will be on LEED for homes rather than LEED for any other project. Okay. First up is a quick statement about what the project was about. There were several emphases. One was to understand how culture itself can be expressed in an environment, particularly the values and the beliefs of that culture. And we studied Korean American and Costa Rican American, as well as Indian American cultures. And Michelle and Jean are going to be speaking about their projects, which were respectively Costa Rican American and the Korean American. All right, I'm going to pass it on to you. Also, just to one last thing was, if you're interested in seeing the actual criteria that LEED has for homes, I have several copies. Unfortunately, I didn't make as many copies as for the audience here, but if you're interested, I do have some that I can hand out afterwards.
So as she said, mine was based on the Korean American home, and here are just the floor plans for my home. But besides just aesthetics and the culture aspect, we really focused on the LEED aspect of things. And my LEED credits were based mostly on the fact that my home would be built in a LEED neighborhood development already. So that means that all of the products that were disposed of in the best way, and they didn't have very much left over in the end. And then on top of that, the other LEED credits that I built up were based on using recyclable materials in the home, so broken up glass in a countertop, for example, or using paint that had little to no off-gassing to not affect the environment and the people that would be living in it, to be using high-efficiency appliances, fixtures, and lighting to save on energy and water costs, and lastly, to use environmentally preferable products that came from within 500 miles of the home, so that the cost and the energy wasted could be limited for those products for the home.
My client was a Costa Rican American family, so it was important for me to incorporate bright and lively colors, as well as nod to the Costa Rican beautiful landscape that they have. And here's a perspective of one of my rooms. When designing my house, it was important to me that the client would have a view to the outside, not only to allow for natural light in the space to warm the house in the wintertime, but also just to nod to Costa Rica in general and bring some houseplants inside. Because of the Costa Rican culture's strong connection to the environment, my LEED certification strategy focused a lot upon the outdoors. I met many of the qualifications for the sustainable site section, including criteria 2.3 of limiting conventional turf, as well as criteria 2.4 of using drought-tolerant plants and turf, which is especially important for the drought-ridden state of Georgia. I also focused on the water efficiency section. I used a gray water reuse system to meet credit 1.2, not only allowing for the client's wastewaters to be used in the house, but also for outdoor irrigation. And Michelle and I were both able to achieve gold certification levels for LEED.
That concludes our And yeah.